Hello everyone, with Jamaica here. Welcome to this updated video on the weather across Jamaica and the rest of the Caribbean. It is Sunday evening, August 24, 2025. Now before we jump into it, please ensure that you all like this video. I'd really appreciate it if you all get this video to 100 likes. If you don't know by now, that's how the YouTube algorithm works. We all like the video and then the YouTube algorithm pushes the video out to more persons who are in the path of these tropical systems so that we can keep everyone safe, especially during the peak month of Atlantic hurricane season, that's August through to October. Share this video with your friends, your co-workers, your relatives, and even your church brethren, and subscribe if you haven't yet done so. Please ensure that you all utilize the progress bar that's located at the bottom of the video, as well as the timestamps that are located not only in the comment section but the video description, so that you can skip to the points in the video that you want to see the most in order to save time, because we know that the videos over here with the Jamaica can be very long. Leave a comment down below letting me know what that's been like in your area recently. Also, feel free to ask any weather related question that you might have about the future of the weather in your specific area. Alright, taking a look at the US National Hurricane Center 7-day graphical tropical weather outlook that just came out at 7:15 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, which is actually 6:15 p.m. Jamaica time. We still see that we have tropical storm Fernand right here, now to the east of Bermuda, and we're still watching that area that has a low chance now of tropical cyclone development within the next 7 days. And if we look at the infrared satellite imagery right here, we can see all of the clouds, showers and thunderstorms associated right to the east of Bermuda regarding tropical storm Fernand, and we can see the strong tropical wave right here just to the east of the Caribbean associated with that code yellow. So we're going to be going from top to bottom regarding both entities. So we're starting first with Fernand, and we can see the cloud showers and thunderstorms, all of which are just to the east of Bermuda right here. A lot of thunderstorms bubbling up as it continues to push off towards the north, and we can see here the Euro spaghetti model plots as well as the GFS spaghetti model plots in agreement that it should continue pushing northward. We see that it should maintain tropical storm status for the next 3 days, and we can see it here. Hurricane Center even confirming that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday still maintaining tropical storm status. As of right now, it is packing maximum sustained winds of 45 miles per hour, and we know that tropical storms usually pack winds of anywhere from 39 to 73 miles per hour winds. So it's definitely a low-end tropical storm, gonna continue to maintain that north-northeast track. It is currently moving at 13 miles per hour. Regarding the code yellow now, we can see the clouds, the showers and the thunderstorms just to the east of St. Lucia, Martinique, Dominica, Guadeloupe right in here. Not really looking that impressive like how it has been looking for the past couple of days. They're definitely getting on some thunderstorms as we speak across sections of Martinique into St. Lucia though, and we even had some rainfall into portions of Barbados as well. And regarding the Euro spaghetti model plots, definitely still showing that the system should trek across the central Caribbean waters, ending up into the western Caribbean over the next 3 days. The GFS spaghetti model plus in agreement with that trek into the Caribbean for sure. The intensity model guidance though, and I wouldn't even look at this because boy, we see that the Hurricane Center keeps fluctuating regarding the intensity of the system. Code yellow, then code orange, then code yellow. The intensity model guidance is showing this getting up to tropical storm status. But what has the Hurricane Center stated recently regarding the system? Alright, so they've stated here the tropical wave just east of the Windward Islands is producing a large area of showers and thunderstorms with winds to near gale force. These conditions are expected to affect the Windward and Leeward Islands tonight and Monday. Earlier reconnaissance aircraft data indicated that the system did not have a closed low-level circulation. Another Air Force reconnaissance aircraft is scheduled to investigate the system overnight if necessary. The disturbance is expected to reach the Central Caribbean Sea on Tuesday, where conditions are forecast to become less favorable for additional development. And we said they've given the area a 30% chance of cyclone formation within the next 2 days, as well as within the next 7 days. So it doesn't really look like it's going to be developing, and they're stating that once it gets into the central Caribbean, I don't know, maybe more dry air, Saharan dust, or wind shear going to be prohibiting further development, as they can see there. But there's still a lot of warm water out there. Let's see if it actually beats the odds. Either way, in terms of what the Euro and the GFS supercomputer model runs are showing, this map from the Euro and this map from the GFS are both showing 12Z on Tuesday, August 26th. So that's 7 a.m. on Tuesday. We can definitely see the moisture associated with that tropical wave just to the south of Hispaniola, to the southeast of Jamaica. I'm pretty sure that Jamaica is going to be getting in on some of the activity. We see the GFS has more of the moisture to the south of the Dominican Republic right here, to the far south of Jamaica right there. Let's see how it actually plays out. And then by 0Z on Thursday, that's about 7 p.m. on Wednesday, we can see the moisture across portion of Jamaica extending into portion of the Western Caribbean, section of Central America getting in on some of the action on the Euro. The GFS for the same time period shows something similar, some moisture across Jamaica extending into the Western Caribbean and the Central America. So if anything, it's definitely going to be bringing rainfall, even if it does not develop into the next name system. I know the next name on the list after Fernand is Gabriel. So let's see if we actually get something to form. Taking a look at the surface map of the Atlantic for this evening, we can see that we have a tropical wave now to the west of Jamaica. It definitely brought some decent rainfall to us earlier today. We're grateful for that. We can see the tropical wave right here across the waters just to the east of the Caribbean that has a low chance of development within the next 7 days. And we can also see another tropical wave right here just to the west of the Cabo Verde Islands. And we know all of these entities are being steered from east to west, all courtesy of the ridges of high pressure to the north. If we take a look at the visible satellite images of the Atlantic before we lost the sunlight, we can make out all of these entities that we just mentioned. The clouds associated with the tropical wave that brought us some rainfall across Jamaica today. We can see the clouds associated with that tropical wave just to the east of the Lesser Antilles, the clouds associated with that other tropical wave just to the west of the Cabo Verde Islands. All of these entities, as we know, are being steered from east to west, all courtesy of the ridges of high pressure to the north. We see even the tropical storm right here pushing off towards the north around that ridge of high pressure. We'll be talking more about the rest of the Caribbean weather later on. Let us focus our attention on the prediction that was made in yesterday's video about the weather across Jamaica for today, Sunday, August 24, 2025. It was stated that rainfall could have been in the forecast of parts of some eastern parishes in Jamaica on Sunday morning, also affecting sections of some eastern, northern, and western parishes on Sunday afternoon. And we know eastern parishes for the morning, we're talking about those parishes in the county of Surrey, like Portland, St. Thomas, Kingston, and St. Andrew. Western parishes for the afternoon, we're talking about those parishes in the county of Cornwall, like Hanover, St. James, Trelawney, Westmoreland, and St. Elizabeth. As well as northern parishes for the afternoon, we're talking about those parishes like Hanover, St. James, Trelawney, St. Anne, St. Mary, and Portland. And what ended up happening? As early as 5:05 a.m., I was actually awoken by some amount of thunderstorm activity in my portion of eastern Jamaica and St. Thomas. Definitely got some rainfall, some lightning, thunder in my area for sure. I'm grateful. We can definitely see the thunderstorm clouds coming in, the cumulonimbus clouds in the greens, yellows, oranges, reds, not to mention the sparkling white dots that we know represent some amount of lightning strikes, if not lightning flashes. Portland definitely got nailed at that time, and the activity just continued pushing west across the island. And then at around 8:45 a.m., the visible satellite image was posted, and it highlighted that we were still getting in on some clouds, bringing some isolated thunder showers to section of the east, section of St. Mary, Portland, section of St. Thomas, spilling into section of Kingston, St. Andrew, and even sections of St. Catherine. Then, by about 12:56 p.m., the visible satellite image was posted once again, and it highlighted some clouds starting to bubble up across section of eastern St. Thomas, eastern Portland, section of St. James, section of Hanover, definitely getting in on some isolated thunder shower activity. And we can see it all even better on the visible satellite images right here of Jamaica before we lost sunlight. We can definitely make out the clouds that were across section of Hanover. We still had some clouds bringing some overcast skies from the early morning thunderstorms across sections of some central to eastern Jamaica parishes though. And if we take a look at the infrared, we can see everything starting to dissipate, clearing out by the time of recording this video. Definitely had some, some deep convection here and there, but not really strong rainfall, just more in the way of a lot of lightning, thunder for sure. We can even see some brief isolated thunder shower activity right here, just to the northwest of the island. We definitely have confirmation of what it was like in the downtown Kingston area. This is the live camera from See Jamaica's YouTube channel at around 1:54 p.m. We can see people in their vehicles, well, reversing. You can see people walking about, going about their business. Nothing in the way of bad weather taking place. Definitely fair conditions for the most part. Well, more so cloudy conditions. All courtesy of those clouds that brought us the thunder this morning. And I would like for you to keep in mind that if you'd like to see more live streams like this, just visit See Jamaica on YouTube. They have these live streams all for you all to view for free. So subscribe today to this channel so that you don't miss out. Taking a look at some of the comments that came in today, we had a comment here from Lamone Rakes confirming that it was raining in Portland. We also had DK Astrology stating about the rain in her area. We had Catridge stating rain in Portland. We had David stating thunder to the east, no sun, gray clouds creeping in. The morning is already hot. We have Andre Duncan stating drought busting rain. I hope that the aqueducts are clear and all the water will flow into the dam. I hope so too. Also have Cadian stating rain in Portland. Cheryl stating overcast with thunder only. We have Neveen stating overcast with thunder in Portland. We have Stephanie stating cloudy and the sound of thunder in the east. Ingrid stating overcast with thunder in Portmore. Sandy still waiting on the rain. Naiki stating overcast and hearing thunder in Clarendon. Destiny stating overcast with thunder in Kingston. We have also Emma stating overcast with lightning flashing. Tanya stating hearing thunder and the place is a bit overcast here in Kingston 8. Christina stating St. Elizabeth on the southeastern side is just breeze, sun and hearing thunder in the far distance. And we have Land stating clouds. We also have Demore Luxtafari stating son a fight to come out, but it needs to take some sick days because it takes the job way too seriously. Right about that. We have Shakira Channel stating cloudy sky with thunder in western Hanover. And then we had Shakira stating we want some rain, 2 place hot. Marcia stating 1 shower and the sun hot. Christiana Manchester. Deneva stating raining in eastern Hanover. Latoya stating sun hot bad. We also had some comments coming in on our Instagram page. Portmore Bell _ not stating thunder in the Ligany side with some clouds. Unique Sewell stating yes, I heard thunder. I'm in Kingston. We also have _Kashana that nice for what stating rain and thunderstorm in Portland. We have Kelly Baby _ proud mom stating beer rain and lightning. We have hey _ it's Katie K Hutchins stating currently rumbling with cloudy skies. Thankfully it's much cooler than yesterday. We have Rodriguez 8534 stating got a little rain this morning in Greater Portmore. It's overcast at 11:35 and cool. Thanks for confirming the rain in Portmore. Here we have another person, Bright Professional Cleaner stating rain in Portmore. Teacher _ chin stating a prank. We have Bright Professional Cleaner stating no, it's raining. Mrs. _ taking 21 stating wait cause when me there dry like chip. Then the original commenter confirming that it was in the Oscott area of Portland. We also have Tevi 24 stating swear the rain did go wash West Spain just for a little and done from morning. And we have one Ryan that _ confirming that rainfall in Hanover stating got some rain with lightning and thunder in Hanover. Alright, so that indeed confirms the comment. Oh, we have one here from Randale. Good evening, weather Jamaica. We didn't get that much in the way of rainfall in St. Anne. Thank you for the comment, Randale. Alright, so we're going to reload the very latest still image from the Weather Nerds website. The very latest still image from the Jamaican Doppler radar website. The Cuban Doppler radar, the Guantanamo Bay US Navy radar, and the Cayman radar. Let us see what's happening right now. Alright, so the latest still image from the Weather Nerds website is showing 0015 UTC, which is actually 7:15 p.m. So this just came out 9 minutes ago, considering that it is 7:24 p.m. right now. As you can see, almost all of the clouds that we had across the island today dissipated. We do see some clouds right here across the far eastern end. Do we actually have some rain bands under some of these clouds? I don't know. Wish we had a Doppler radar to see eastern St. Thomas. But we do see some rainfall just to the west, or the west northwest of Hanover right over here. Some clouds with some isolated showers. We're going to be confirming with the radar. Unfortunately, the Jamaican Doppler radar glitched out. The Cuban Doppler radar also glitched out on August 18. The Guantanamo Bay US Navy radar is not really showing much of anything across far eastern parishes in Jamaica, so I guess we're not really getting in on any rainfall over here. But we do see some rainfall across the far western peninsula of Haiti and portions of southeastern Cuba, just to the northwest of Guantanamo right there. The Cayman radar, on the other hand, showing that rainfall just to the west northwest of Hanover, pushing off towards the west. We can also see a lot of rainfall associated with that tropical wave just to the southwest of the Cayman Islands. Some light to moderate rainfall in the blues and greens, and some heavy rainfall in the yellow as well. And if we take a look, the live camera here from Sea Jamaica's YouTube channel, showing a very busy Bogwalk Gorge. We see a lot of vehicles going across, people in their vehicles going about their business. Nothing in the way of bad weather taking place at this time. And I'd like for you to keep in mind that if you'd like to see more live streams like this, just visit Sea Jamaica on YouTube. Subscribe so that you don't miss out on what's happening. I guess this is going to be the order of the night. Fair weather for sure. Taking a look at the temperatures right now, we can see that we're at 28 degrees Celsius in both Montego Bay and Kingston. And by about 4 a.m. on Monday, temperature should dip down to about 26 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 24 degrees Celsius in Kingston. Taking a look at the temperature forecast for tomorrow. This map from the GFS is valid for 18Z on Monday, which is actually 1 p.m. on Monday, and we can see Jamaica right here embedded in some slight oranges that we know represents up to at least 2, maybe even up to 3 degrees Celsius above normal temperatures. And we know the normal temperature for the month of August across Jamaica is around 91 degrees Fahrenheit, and when that's converted to degrees Celsius that we use here in Jamaica, that is around 32.8 degrees Celsius. So we should be receiving anywhere from 32.8 to maybe even as far as 35.8 degrees Celsius at most for Jamaica's temperature on a Monday. We're grateful that we don't see any maintenance outage advisories here from my JPS Online's Twitter page from Monday, August 25, but there's a lot of them for August 26 though. I'll show you in tomorrow's video. Either way, if tomorrow is going to be a bit too hot for you, which I'm sure it will be, I have some tips right here for you all to beat the heat. It states here, seek shade when outside. Eat fresh. Try eating cold foods such as salads and fruits. Rest. Make sure you get enough sleep and rest if you're feeling tired. Soak. Take a cool shower or bath to help you cool down. And I cannot stress enough the importance of keeping hydrated throughout the day. Drink lots of water even if you're not thirsty, and put away those sugar drinks and drink water instead. Taking a look at the dry air map, we know that the dry air is represented by what we see here on the key on the bottom. That's the yellows, the oranges, the reds, and the whites within those reds. And we see a lot of dry air across the Atlantic in general. We know the dry air is responsible for keeping the atmosphere stable, making it harder for it to rain in general. The dry air definitely, outdoing the amount of moisture, but we do see some moisture in and around where we have Tropical Storm Fernand off the east coast of the US into the Gulf. A lot of moisture, the Western Caribbean to the south of Central America and Mexico, right here across the Eastern Caribbean and off the coast of Africa. Wherever we have the clouds, that is where we have the moisture, and that's what we want more of. We want more moisture so that we get more clouds, that we get more rainfall to keep water in our pipes. But regarding the Saharan dust forecast for the next 3 days, So we're heading into August 25, 26, and 27. As you can see here, some Saharan dust should be pushing through on August 25 tomorrow. Definitely going to be making tomorrow feel a bit hotter. And you're going to be seeing some slight hazy skies for sure. Hope that you have your meds handy just in case you're easily triggered by the Saharan dust. You know, it can act up some asthma, if not sinusitis issues in some persons. So get yourselves ready, but we clearly see that by August 26, the Saharan dust should possibly clear out a bit, and then by August 27, some slight Saharan dust pushes back in, but we can see it isn't really that strong. Just some fluctuations here and there pushing through the Atlantic for sure. Regarding the wave forecast for tomorrow, we're seeing that the Gulf is where the lowest waves are located. Wherever we have the light blues, that's the 0.5 meter wave height. While when you head into the Caribbean, we're seeing more blues into the dark blues, purples into the pinks. That represents anywhere from 1 to 1.5 up to 2 to even 2.5 meter wave heights, especially to the far south of Jamaica, across the Leeward Islands as well. And that's because of the winds that are expected tomorrow. We see more of an easterly, if not an east-northeasterly flow across the central to the southwestern Caribbean waters, averaging anywhere from 20 to 25 knots in the bright greens and the yellows. But if we zoom in on Jamaica regarding our wave forecast for tomorrow, to the north of Portland, 0.8 of a meter wave height expected. To the south of St. Thomas, 1.3 meter wave height. To the north of St. Anne, 0.8 of a meter wave height. To the south of Clarendon, 1.2 meter wave height. To the north of Hanover, 0.9 of a meter wave height. To the south of Westmoreland, 0.9 of a meter wave height expected. And that's because of the winds that are expected tomorrow. We see more of an easterly flow of the winds tomorrow. We see it getting up to 12 knots to the north of St. James. To the south of St. Thomas, 14 knots. To the south of Clarendon, 16 knots. And we see where the air is expected to pile up, maybe across sections of some western parishes. That is where we could get some of those low-level clouds becoming mid-level rain clouds, if not upper-level cumulonimbus clouds. And it looks like the upper-level wind shear should be coming in from the west, if not from the north tomorrow. Not really strong wind shear at all, but we do have some decent amount of wind shear where we have that tropical wave, so it explains why it is, you know, struggling to develop at this time. Some wind shear coming in from the east. But regarding the actual rainfall forecast maps now, this map from the Euro and this map from the GFS are both valid for 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we're looking at 3 p.m. because we didn't see much in the way of rainfall across Jamaica in the morning. That doesn't mean that we can't get morning rainfall, but definitely less likely. Either way, the Euro showing the blues represent rainfall across sections of some central and western parishes. The GFS showing the blues represent rainfall mainly across western parishes, maybe with some isolated showers across the inland areas of some central parishes. So that is going to be the forecast for tomorrow. Maybe some rainfall across sections of some western parishes and inland areas of some central parishes. Definitely across sections of Westmoreland, sections of Hanover, maybe southern St. James, northern St. Elizabeth, for sure. That is where we have the agreement. And even the total accumulated precipitation forecast maps here from the Euro and the GFS are in agreement that it's going to be raining somewhere in Jamaica within the next 24 hours. The Euro going up into the slight yellows, maybe the 0.25 of an inch or 0.3 of an inch of rainfall. The GFS getting up into the slight oranges, maybe 0.5 of an inch of rainfall expected across the western end. And whatever happens, we'll definitely take it because we're in the month of August, and in Kingston, whose bar graph is being shown right here at the top, we usually receive close to 100 millimeters of rainfall for the month of August. That's almost 4 inches of rainfall. While in Montego Bay, whose bar graph is being shown right here at the bottom, we usually receive close to 5 inches of rainfall for the month of August. That's almost 125 millimeters of rainfall. And I would like for you to keep in mind that if you'd like to find out what your specific parish usually receives in terms of rainfall for the month of August or for the entire year, you can visit weatherandclimate.com. and that website will show you that information. And you can use this nice graphic right here that converts rainfall from inches to millimeters. We know that 1 inch of rainfall is about the same as 25 millimeters of rainfall. Alright, so we're going to be looking at what the next 7 days have in store for us according to the latest Euro and GFS supercomputer model runs that came out today. So keep your eyes focused on the timestamp right here as we go to the next one, John 68 hours. That stands for the next 7 days. Keep your eyes focused on Jamaica right here as we look for all of this that we see on the key on the right. That's the reds, the oranges, the yellows, and the greens. That represents inches of rainfall. So let's see what's going to be taking place. So we're going to be comparing the Euro with the GFS, and we're starting on Tuesday because we already showed what's expected for Monday. 12Z on Tuesday is actually 7 a.m. and we start to see that some of the moisture associated with that cold yellow, that strong tropical wave, should start pushing into portion of eastern Jamaica according to the Euro. Then by afternoon we see that rainfall across eastern, central, and western parishes. What does the GFS show? Tuesday morning, rainfall across the east. Tuesday afternoon, rainfall across eastern, central, and western parishes as well. Interesting. For Wednesday morning, what do we see? Still seeing some moisture in and around Jamaica on the Euro. Wednesday afternoon, eastern, central, and western parishes. What does the GFS show? Wednesday morning, some moisture across eastern parishes. Wednesday afternoon, rainfall across eastern, central, and western parishes once again. What do we see for Thursday morning? On Thursday morning, not really seeing much of anything across Jamaica on the Euro. Thursday afternoon, what do we see? Maybe some rainfall across some central and western parishes. What does the GFS show for Thursday morning? Thursday morning, maybe some rainfall to our west. Thursday afternoon, some rainfall across some central and western parishes. What do we see on Friday morning? Friday morning, not really seeing much of anything. But look at this, we see some decent moisture right here across the Windward Islands. Interesting. Could that be another tropical wave trying to get and come through? We'll see. Friday afternoon, maybe some rainfall, some isolated showers at that across eastern, central, and western parishes. What does the GFS show? Friday morning, not really showing much of anything across Jamaica. Friday afternoon, maybe some rainfall across second or some northern and western parishes. What does the Euro show for Saturday morning? On Saturday morning, not really seeing much of anything across Jamaica. Saturday afternoon, maybe some rainfall across some eastern, central, and western parishes. And we're going to be stopping it right here at the end of the 168 hours. So this is valid for Sunday, August 31. Not really seeing much of anything across Jamaica. We do see an area of low pressure right here across the eastern Gulf or the northeastern Gulf. Interesting. See some moisture to the south of the Dominican Republic though. What does the GFS show? Saturday morning, nothing for us. Saturday afternoon, maybe some rainfall across some northern and western parishes. And at the end of the 168 hours, just like on the Euro, we're seeing an increase in moisture across the northern Gulf for sure. So maybe, who knows, maybe another cold yellow or something trying to form up there. Up there has been quite the hotspot this hurricane season for sure. Not really seeing much of anything across the Atlantic in terms of the main development region kind of activity at all. And the total accumulated precipitation forecast maps are in agreement that it's going to be raining for sure. We see the yellows into the oranges into the reds represents up to 1 inch or less of rainfall for portions of the greater Antilles into the lesser Antilles, while clearly the brunt of the rainfall over the next 7 days from now up until August 31 should be across northern South America into Central America, wherever we see the dark reds into the purples and the pinks. That's representing anywhere from 2 all the way to maybe even 5 inches of rainfall. But regarding Jamaica's rainfall totals for the next 7 days, this map from the Euro and this map from the GFS are both showing all the rainfall that's expected from now up until Sunday, August 31. And we can see the rainfall extending from the eastern end to the western end, with the brunt of the rainfall expected for the eastern end up to 68 millimeters of rainfall at that for eastern St. Thomas, maybe southeastern Portland. The GFS showing the brunt of the rainfall should be across the western end of the island. We see the oranges that represent maybe up to 50 millimeters of rainfall. We'll see it actually plays out. We know that most of this rainfall across central and western parishes is going to be during the afternoon hours. So stay tuned. I'll definitely be here to keep you posted with what takes place. Alright, so that is it for the forecast across Jamaica. Let us focus our attention on the rest of the Caribbean. So as stated, we have that decent tropical wave pushing through the Windward and Leeward Islands as we speak, with some amount of shower and thunderstorm activity. We also see another tropical wave that brought us some rainfall in Jamaica today, now affecting portions of Honduras, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, and we see a lot of moisture across the Gulf into portions of Florida. They definitely have been getting in on some amount of decent rainfall. The usual moisture associated with the intertropical convergence zone extending all the way over into Africa down there. Regarding the Doppler radar imagery, near Puerto Rico. What's taking place down there? Not really seeing much of anything across the US and British Virgin Islands. We do see some isolated showers across eastern to central Puerto Rico. We do see some moisture right here just to the southeast of the Leeward Islands, already affecting Martinique. We mentioned that earlier. If we load these Doppler radar images from earlier today, we saw that portion of western Puerto Rico definitely gotten on some amount of moderate to heavy rainfall. But clearly Barbados, well, the waters to the north of Barbados have been getting the brunt of the rainfall today, associated with that tropical wave. All of these blues into the greens represent some light to moderate rainfall. The yellows into the oranges represent some heavy rainfall. We see that pushing up, if not towards the west. All of it right here to the east of Guadeloupe, Dominica, some of it affecting portion of southern sections of Martinique, sections of St. Lucia getting in on some of the heavy rainfall as we speak. So too sections of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Grenada, Trinidad and Tobago definitely got on some decent rainfall today. And if we take a look at the weather view of Doppler radar images, we can see some rainfall that pushed in from the west into portion of Florida. We see some rainfall across northern Guatemala, section of Honduras. If we scroll down, we see some rainfall passing to the north of the ABC Islands, section of Venezuela, Colombia getting on some amount of rainfall. And regarding where the rainfall is expected within the next 24 hours, this map from the ERA and this map from the GFS are showing all the rainfall that's expected from now up until 10 p.m. on Monday, and we can clearly see that the tropical wave is going to be bringing some decent rainfall up to 1 inch or more, or maybe even less, for a portion of the Eastern Caribbean as it pushes through. So anywhere from Antigua and Barbuda southward, Guadeloupe, Dominica, Martinique, St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Grenada, Barbados. We also see some moisture expected for Guyana, Suriname, French Guyana, Venezuela, Colombia, Panama, Costa Rica, Nicaragua, Honduras, El Salvador, sections of, well, Guatemala, section of Belize, section of the Yucatan Peninsula, Florida, the northern Bahamas, Cuba getting in on some of the action, as well as section of Haiti and the Dominican Republic, intersection of Puerto Rico. And we can clearly see that both the Euro and the GFS models are in agreement with this forecast. I will know that when they're in agreement like this, the chances are higher for it to take place. Alright, so that's it of the forecast across the Caribbean. Let us see what's happening across the Eastern Pacific. We now have a brand new tropical depression. That's Tropical Depression 10. And if we look at the infrared, we can see the cloud showers and thunderstorms associated with it just to the west of Mexico. We've been talking about this. Regarding the latest from the Hurricane Center, it is now packing maximum sustained winds of 35 miles per hour. We know that tropical depression status is up there for sure, anywhere close to 38 mile per hour winds, definitely considered a tropical depression. And we can see expected to make it up to tropical storm status in the S by tomorrow. And we know that the next name on the list is Juliet, so that is the name that it will acquire. As of right now, it's currently moving towards the west-northwest at 14 miles per hour, so it's going to be a fish storm, not going to be affecting land at all. But regarding what's happening on the western Pacific side of things, the Giant Typhoon Warning Center here still monitoring that hurricane, well, that typhoon. That is Typhoon Kajiki. That is the pronunciation. You can see the cloud showers and thunderstorms affecting China and Vietnam as we speak. It definitely, did the unexpected. It was expected to maintain a category 1 status, but I think this morning it came up close to category 3 status, close to it. I'm not sure if it actually made it up there, but as of right now, it is packing maximum sustained winds of 90 knots. It's expected to continue pushing up towards the west-northwest. If it's packing 90 knot winds, we know that anywhere from 84 to 95 knots are considered category 2. So it's a category 2 hurricane or typhoon right now. Yesterday, it wasn't saying that it could make it up to category 2 status, just to show you that these typhoons, well, these Western Pacific systems can definitely overachieve for the most part. So if you have friends or relatives who live or work in China or Vietnam, please get in touch with them just in case they're being affected by this typhoon. We know that when it floods over there, it's crazy. Alright, so that's it for today. Thanks for watching.